world's greatest news and reviews. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about The Flash Season 2 finale. We'll also give our thoughts on things that happened in that season, as well as the show on a whole. And if Jeremy happens to be your favorite on-screen talent, fear not, he's not gone forever. He's just sitting out this review because he has yet to watch The Flash. He's actually watching Arrow right now, so he'll get there.
I miss you guys.
We miss you too, honey.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
He's still here, so his presence will be felt, much like other parts of it. Okay, so we'll jump right into it. We're going to go around real quick and just give our overall thoughts on The Flash Season 2. A couple sentences, what we thought, and then we'll dive into details. I'll start. I really, really like The Flash. It's probably one of, if not the best examples of a superhero TV show. Probably second only to Daredevil in my humble opinion. I really like this season. Not quite as good as one for me, but still really, really, really good. Lonnie?
I'm on the same page. I really like The Flash. I feel like it's one of the better superhero shows out there right now. We're going to get into more later, right?
Okay, let's give it a little bit more. Okay. John, what did you think of this season?
Really, really, really like it?
Worst show ever. I might be kidding. I really like it.
As a whole?
As a whole, the season was really good. I agree with you. I think it was better. The first season was a little better, but very good. Entertained me through the whole season.
Okay,
and I'm going to wait.
Okay, so let's start out. I'm not going to keep talking about season one a lot. If you haven't seen that, you should. Don't, in fact, stop watching this and then go watch that and come back and watch this still. But season 1 of Flash was really, 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 really good and had one of the best endings, one of the best cliffhanger endings, Walking Dead, that a show can have that still feels legitimate and not cheap. Season 1 ended with a bang. Literally, this is me at the end of season 1. As the ending's about to happen, I leaned forward in my chair, out loud yelled, "Run, Barry, run!" Thank God nobody was around me, because it was one of the nerdiest fucking things I've ever done. No, but I got really into the show. Really, really into the show. Lonnie watched it before I got into it, and he kept telling me, "Eric, you gotta watch The Flash, you gotta watch The Flash, you gotta watch The Flash." I'm like, "No, da-da-da-da-da." And he's like, "They're doing Grodd." I'm like, "Really?" Like, "They're doing Reverse Flash." I'm like, "Oh, really?" They got King Shark. I'm like, "Fucking King Shark?" Like, I don't even like King Shark, but I appreciate the deep cuts. So no, this show is a very, very, very good comic book adaptation. They are not afraid to just dive in there and pull straight from the source material. But season 2, it just didn't quite have the same momentum throughout, I thought. I thought 1 did a really good job of building the stuff, but it did do a really good thing, which was introduce us to the fucking multiverse. Damn it, a show did it. Like, they're just straight multiverse. They're talking about Earth 2. They're doing all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about what we thought about the multiverse and all that shit, because that came pretty early on, and that's pretty much what this season's about. Is Earth 2 in the multiverse. So, Lonnie, what did you think of that?
I just remember when we were sitting there, we were watching the episode when they started talking about the different portals how they were
that was so good.
different Earths. And they were like, something about the number 52 came
No,
up.
they said how many portals are there to the worlds, and they're like 52.
52. We're like,
Whoa, 52! Yeah, it's just so many nods, man. Like, we were counting all the little Easter eggs.
Literally had a nerdgasm when that was said. So, I thought it was awesome when they introduced that and they started messing around. I thought at first it was going to be too much. I thought, with the it was going to get too confusing, but no, the show was well written, and there's no way you can get confused watching this.
Well, when it comes to the multiverse, that didn't get confusing. It did get kind of convoluted later with other stuff, which I'll touch on.
Well, but I don't know. All in all, I think it was it was great.
The multiverse was
awesome.
What did you think of that, John?
I want to go back to season 1 real quick and talking about Easter eggs and stuff. I'm watching this show and I'm like, you know what? Cool. I hope they do something good with the Flash. At first, I wasn't feeling that costume, but I'll tell you what. The second,
me neither. I remember I was making fun of Lonnie for it. Yeah.
The second they walked through the broken cages and they showed that sign that said "fucking Grodd," I was like, best show ever, and loved it. And they did. They stuck to the comic book with this so well. And yeah, I was very happy with both seasons.
But what they're doing really good, though, is like they're taking classic Flash and Justice League stories and incorporating them, but changing them and making them, relevant to what a TV show has to do.
Oh, right.
They're really good at doing that. Funny that you mentioned. I totally forgot about that. I was hating on the Flash's costume a lot when it first. I remember you showed me the first picture.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, that's some really shitty cosplay." Like, I was giving him a lot of shit, and I still hold it. Probably doesn't look good, but I'm on board with it now.
And it did. To me, when I first saw it, I thought it was like this guy did not have very much money. But we before he had to go to Comic-Con. That's just what I thought. But I'm so
I thought it
aboard
was
now.
good because of the old Flash. I mean, I compared it to the old Flash. That was on, so anything's better than that costume.
Sure, that looked really bad. But okay, so
Oh God, yeah.
so for those of you who don't know what the multiverse is and Earth 2 and all, like, there's probably a decent amount of you within our tens of fans that have no idea. But we have 28 subscribers. That's
I know,
tens of
that's
fans. Our tens of fans out there, which we love every single one of you. I could still see
Thank you.
Yeah.
All equally.
If we get to the point where we have thousands, you guys are more important. Anyway, so let's talk about what Earth 2 and all that means. So basically in the DC universe and the comics and all that, and what they're incorporating now in the show, is there's not one universe. There's shit tons of universes, and you can get there by going through portals. And most Earths you'll go to, like you'll go to Earth 2, which is what they named it, it's almost exactly the same as our Earth. Like a version of you will be there. But aside from one or two minor differences, it's pretty much the same. But those differences have like the butterfly effect, and like everything could be different. Like in one world, Lonnie's Lonnie, and in another world, Lonnie's a girl, and in the next world, Lonnie's a president, and in the other one, Lonnie's gay. That's this one. So anyway, so that was really cool. So what that allows you to do is have multiple different versions of characters. Specifically bad versions, which when we got into Earth 2 in this one, we got to see evil Caitlyn as her
Killer
alternate
Frost.
Killer Frost.
Yeah.
We got to see a cooler version of Cisco. One thing that I really loved when they went to Earth 2, because in one of the episodes Barry actually gets to go there, is like Deadshot. He's still called Deadshot, but in this world, he's a fucking terrible shot. Like, he can't hit anything. And so it's little things like that that made the show really fun, right? Like when they were touching on this kind of stuff.
One thing about Earth 2 that was awesome, though, the phone. It was like an old style phone with the names on there. Was
Yeah.
what, Diana?
Yeah, so
Wayne,
it had like
or Bruce?
it had like an old school phone, and the speed dials written on there was it was Bruce, Hal, Diana, and one other one. It was like his
mom.
yeah,
Yeah.
or something. But it was really cool because it was like, oh, hint, they know each other. But what I like to think about in that world where they're not superheroes, I think that like Bruce is just some well-adjusted dude he met in college. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's just
yeah.
like a normal guy. Like that's just fun to think about. So going through Earth 2 and the multiverse, anything fun specifically stick out to you, John?
The Deadshot thing was hysterical.
Deadshot was hilarious, yeah.
The way they're pushing, they did with Barry and the chick,
Iris.
Iris.
Mhm.
The fact that they were married was really cool.
That was really cool,
I did
yeah.
like that.
I like how like she just started changing in front of him, and he's like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
my
yeah.
wife."
The
Like,
coolest thing I have to say was that. Really, the dad hated Joe, hated
Yeah,
Barry.
yeah, that
I
was
thought
funny.
that was
That was
awesome.
pretty cool.
So
He didn't know
yeah,
how to
they
deal
did
with
some
that.
really
Yeah.
good job. He didn't, and they did some really good jobs with that. And one thing about the Flash season 1 and season 2 that I really liked is how they showed the complexity of the relationships that they had with them and with each other, and that also is the same in Earth 2.
yeah, it was really good. So one thing coming out of Earth 2 that was teased in the finale, the very last shot of season 1, you see Jay Garrick's helmet. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are multiple different characters that have assumed the mantle of Flash. Jay Garrick was the first one. He was the Golden Age Flash. And so getting to see him, they introduce him, and it's pretty awesome. Now, spoiler alerts, obviously. It turns out not to be the actual Jay Garrick, but I have to give them so much props for making us believe that this guy was, because they actually did a Flash comic cover in one of the episodes where they're both running to save a female at the same time. And I remember, like, I even pulled it up and showed you. I was like, that's the cover of a classic comic.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But, like, at that point, I never thought he was anything other than Jay Garrick.
Right.
I was like, I would have, like, if they hadn't done that the whole season, I would have been like, well, he's Zoom. Like, because that was a big point. Is like, who's Zoom? I was like, well, he's Zoom. He's the new guy who shows up. Like, clearly. Like, what are we doing? But since they did that, I was like, no, they wouldn't come in and do this iconic shot of the flashes and like, no, that's Jay Garrick. Not fucking Jay Garrick. That was a pretty good curveball, guys.
Yeah, they did a
was-
great job.
Yeah,
I
Berlanti,
mean-
you guys know what you're doing with that. But he came on and he was a very believable Jay Garrick. I
Yeah,
thought he
he
was
was.
fucking Jay Garrick. Like, I thought he was a little young. I was like, I thought Jay Garrick would be a bit older, but you know, whatever. It's cool. Oh my god, that was just done so really good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think about it. Think about it. The end of that goddamn season finale, and when they finally do it, that's not Jay Garrick. What the fuck?
So let's
I
just
was
jump in.
pissed.
Fuck it. So
Fuck it.
we're trying to figure out who Zoom is this entire time, right? What? What?
Nothing.
We're trying to figure out who Zoom is this entire time, and there's a bunch of theories that were flying around the interwebs and all that kind of stuff. And I never would have thought it was the guy who was playing Jay Garrick until they unmask him, and it's fucking Jay Garrick. And at that point, I was like, well, this is getting weird and convoluted. Like, I was actually kind of mad because I was like, well, that means Jay Garrick's a bad guy. And I was like, totally not on board with that. I was like, no, Jay Garrick's not a bad guy, blah, 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 blah. But then they throw us the real curveball when, let's touch on the man from the Iron Mask. In Zoom's lair in Earth 2, there's a dude who's in a cage, has this big iron helmet on, and he keeps tapping,
and he keeps trying to
Morse code,
yeah,
saying J, which I assume those are the only 3 letters he knows in Morse code, because he could be like, help, the key's over there. Like, fucking, there's a lot of shit you could say, but he's just like, J. And so I was just like, I don't know who that is, but if it's Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm going to high five everybody who had anything to do with making this show, because that would have just been great. But he takes it off, and it's fucking his dad from Earth 2, who is the real fucking Jay Garrick.
yeah,
Which, fucking great writing at that point.
Which they also foreshadowed and kind of showed it earlier in the episode or the episode before where his dad said your mom's maiden name or somebody's maiden name was Garrick.
Yeah, Garrick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't Barry pick up on that?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
To
Exactly.
be fair, like, why didn't we pick up on that? Because
I picked up on it.
Well, I know, but I didn't think it was gonna make his dad Jay Garrick, though.
Sure you did.
Like, why is Barry not paying attention to that? Garrick, hello. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Zoom in general and how we felt to him as an overall protagonist. He was good. He was fine. I like the Reverse Flash in Season 1 better. And I think this ties into the overall story arc in Season 1 being a bit better. It was a lot more emotional. Every time the Reverse Flash showed up, I just felt the tension and the effect they were doing with his face. Like, it just seemed like this big fucking adversary had arrived, and it really built well. Zoom, they did a lot to try to make him look scary and imposing, like beating Flash's ass the first time he sees him, parading him around everybody.
He broke his back.
Yeah, like, that was great, but to me, it was like they were trying to hit these notes that they did last season with the Reverse Flash, almost without trying. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a nitpick on my end. I just thought Reverse Flash was more interesting, and it might be because it tied into that story more for me. Zoom's plan in this kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I liked the character. It felt redundant because it's like another speedster, another bad guy who wants to prove he's faster. So I don't know. What did you guys think? You guys were big on Zoom? Because I liked him, but
I see what you're getting at with the Reverse Flash and the emotion that you felt when he came on screen. I get that, but with Zoom, I just thought he was more nefarious. I guess maybe I think that's the word I'm looking for. He just seemed more evil.
I think Nemesine is the word you might be. Or
Maybe whatever. I'm trying to use big words again. Whatever. Weren't learned real well. Anyway, so.
Whoa!
He was odoriferous.
Anyway, Zoom just seemed more evil than Reverse Flash.
That's the
And
one.
Is it menacing the word you're looking
I'm
I was
done.
going to use it where shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
Past that part.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're past
I'm
that.
trying to help, but go ahead.
Gosh. He's badder. He was badder than Reverse Flash. Okay, anyway, let me stop. So Zoom, I just thought was he was more evil than Reverse Flash. Like I don't know, no matter what the Flash did, I think once he got his ass whooped and was paraded around the city and in front of the police department, and then he had his back broke, like this guy just left him he was throwing him around like a rag doll, left him like what? What can you do? You can't hang with me. Like Reverse Flash was like, yeah, you have to catch me, you have to catch me, you have to catch me. And I think it was a little bit more emotional because that's the guy that killed Flash's mother. I understand that. But Zoom whooped his ass and he's like, I mean, how am I gonna hang with this guy? I can't even catch him,
But see,
let alone fight him. So I mean, that was my take on it. That's how I felt. I felt Zoom was a more evil, more bad. Bad guy.
this just in, Zoom more bad. Anyway,
Was Zoom more batter? Okay,
I
so
guys.
he was the more baddest. Anyway, John, what did you think about Zoom?
just gonna sit here.
hopefully I can say this a little more eloquently than my colleague. I agree with you, Lonnie. I really do. Zoom was 100 times more menacing, evil, badder than.
What are you looking at me? He's the one
I'm
who
just
gets
giving a
the word,
shit. Than the Reverse Flash, and I'm going to tell you why.
right?
The reason is that he had Barry's number from the giddy up. Not only did he kick his ass, not only was he faster and more powerful, and straight up an evil maniacal man. he had his number every time. He was ahead, at least a step ahead of Flash through the whole series, pretty much. Every time Flash went, we got you, Zoom went, oh, did you now? Boom, flip the script on him. Every time. He was so powerless over Zoom through the whole season.
Can I interject one thing, though?
You're getting
Your entire statement you just made still makes complete sense if you remove Zoom and put Reverse Flash in there regarding the first season. He was faster than him. He whipped his ass every time they came across. He had this big, elaborate, evil master plan. It was almost the same fucking thing.
Maybe the difference to me was that Zoom put it in his face and did it in front of everybody.
No, that was a great scene. Like, that was great.
In front of everybody.
His point, he wanted to publicly show that God can bleed. I get it. I get the point.
He actually whooped his ass. Reverse Flash and Flash had a small fight, but it was nothing compared to the fight Zoom and Flash had, and that makes it. To me, that makes a difference.
No,
it's not just dealing with speed. You can't fight this guy.
I get that. I just feel like, from an emotional standpoint, I was way more invested in the Reverse Flash trial. Not that this one wasn't bad. I liked Zoom. I thought he was a badass villain. I thought he was great for the season. Let's talk about his plan, though, because that didn't make a whole lot of sense. So, I get that he wants to destroy all the other...
Speedsters.
Well, not only the speedsters. He wants to destroy all the other Earths. Yeah, he wants to just wreck everything, and he needs... the Flash's speed to do so. So he challenges him to a race to power this machine that will destroy all the other realities, right?
Right.
Now, my question is, in this season they introduced time remnants, which this is where it starts to get kind of convoluted, so try to follow me. It is the version of you from the past that you would go talk to help you to do something, knowing that in doing it they're going to die, but you're going to continue to live on. It's a kind of a self-sacrifice type thing that you have to do. So Barry ends up using one of a time remnants in the finale to stop Zoom, and in doing so, basically that version of himself sacrificed himself. So it's a very heroic thing because you know you're going to die in doing it. Why didn't Zoom just use a time remnant to help him power the machine in the beginning? Why didn't both of them make a shit ton of time remnants come and have like this big fucking epic battle at the end? I feel like if that's going to be this thing you're going to introduce, you could have utilized that a bit better. But that's just me. What do you guys think?
I think that it is just you.
Okay, it's just me.
No,
Damn it. He's
What?
got a point.
Thank you. Fuck you. It's not just me.
He has
That's
a point.
God, yeah.
To a point.
Yes,
Here's the thing, guys. I'm sorry, but
I'm not saying it's not well written. Sorry, I'm not trying to hit on the show.
here's the thing. Yeah, I hope they're watching this and crucifies you and cuts your
Aberlanti.
nuts off.
You're really violent. You know
I am
that?
violent.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oddly sexual about it.
Oh, am I now? So
Yeah,
I
but-
think that we're digressing like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so
Motherfuckers.
Zoom's plan.
Zoom's plan, I don't know. I really didn't critique the whole thing. He wanted to destroy every other world, so no one else would. There was no other world but this one, and he would be the sole ruler of it.
I'm not saying I don't
Story as
understand
old
his
as time.
plan. I'm saying the way he got there, he could have been better about. Like, he didn't have to get the Flash involved if he just needed another speedster to power
if
the
he was
machine.
better about it, then Flash wouldn't have won, and the world would have been doomed. And that's not the story they wanted.
Okay, you're not making any fucking sense. Like, you're not. Okay, I'm critiquing the way that they got there, not what the end outcome was. I'm saying his plan doesn't make sense. And if you want to be like, well, it doesn't make sense because then there wouldn't be a movie or a TV show, then you can say that about anything. The whole thing we're doing here makes no fucking sense then.
Yeah, and but what makes sense are radioactive
Censor?
turtles going around and fucking
What are we
being
talking about?
ninjas
How are we on
and
Ninja
shit.
Turtles?
Well,
What?
you're saying that
If you're
this
gonna
plan
start
doesn't
making-
make sense
if you're
or
gonna
anything.
start like making
Oh,
fun
come
and
on.
transition to like, okay, well, something else you like doesn't make sense. Why would you go to Ninja Turtles? Like, I've been
Because that is the most
vocally-
outlandish thing I could think of. And if you're saying that you don't get the way he went about this and critiquing
No,
a
I'm just
fictional
saying
story.
that there is an obvious plot hole where something simple could have been done to make it make more sense.
Well, it's in a lot of stories along this kind of genre. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of their plans, there's a lot of holes that, I mean, they could have done it differently. I mean, it could have been, I don't know, you can critique it any way you want to, but Zoom was badder. Can we
This is
just
the
get off
worst
to this?
episode ever.
Okay, so I think we've come to the conclusion Zoom is better. That's the official. I'm gonna put that in the description.
You know what?
Zoom is better.
Can I ask one question real
yeah.
quick before we go any further? Bottom line, who'd win in a fight?
Between
Reverse Flash or Zoom?
I'll probably Zoom.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying Zoom's not faster and more powerful, and even more menacing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I get that he's badder. I just felt more emotionally connected to the Reverse Flash's storyline.
Well, and there, you know what? There really was a lot more emotional investment to that because of the fact that he did kill Barry's mom.
I know, and then, so, to keep going with that point, when then he kills Barry's dad, Zoom does, to me that almost felt forced. Like, that felt like, okay, we don't have the emotional weight that we had last time, so we need more, we need a reason for
Kill
Barry
somebody
to
else.
really want to be like, I have to kill this guy. I mean,
because he already killed Jay. Well,
yeah, he killed that version.
yeah, that version of Jay.
To me,
That was
like,
a remnant, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So to me, it made sense because of the payoff with Barry's dad being the real fucking Jay Garrick.
Right.
But at the time, I was like, well, I think they realized, like, there's not as much emotional weight, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. Still really good. Again, here, I'm, like, nitpicking the fuck out of this. I really, really liked it. It was really quite good. Let's talk about the Speed Force. They did something really weird and different, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. They made the Speed Force, like, a sentient thing. Like, an actual being.
Yeah.
Versus in the comics, it's never like that. Like, it's like a source of power and energy.
Kind of like that movie, the Gaia, Final Fantasy. Remember?
You said Gaia, and my brain went right to Captain Planet.
Oh God! Well, and it
Seriously,
was, but dude,
like
it was
this
the same
theme
thing.
song just kicked
Oh,
Gaia.
that is hysterical.
Captain, fuck, I'm going.
But that is the
Can we do a
same.
Captain Planet review?
We can.
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Just not right now.
So, but it's the same thing. That's what reminded me of the Speed Force. Reminded me of was like the way they portrayed Gaia, not in Captain Planet, but in the Final Fantasy movie.
Never watched that, but okay. I think I get what you're going for.
The whole core of the being of
Yeah.
the whole world. It's a true thing. Gaia is supposedly the Earth's force of some kind.
Yeah.
And I don't know the gist of it because I'm not a Wiccan. But anyways.
But no, so that was an interesting way of presenting it, making it like
yeah, without a doubt.
It made sense within the narrative that they were fucking going for. I'm just curious, what did you guys think of that? Because that's a diversion from the comics.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but I was okay with it. I was okay with it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It didn't bug me.
Okay
It was just
with it.
different.
And every time he spoke to somebody that meant something in his life, it was funny how they kept telling him to sit down.
Mhm.
He's supposed to catch this blurry thing, and once he catches that, he'll get his speed back, right?
Mhm.
But every time he met somebody that meant something to him, they told him, Barry, sit down. Barry, sit. Like, they kept telling him to sit down. And it was like, so there was, like, it made it, it was weird, but I was okay with it, and it was, I mean, it almost had, like, a deeper meaning. Like, as much as he's trying to run as fast and get his speed back, he needs to sit down, chill, and kind of think about what's going on.
I feel like if the Speed Force were one of us, we'd have been like, bruh, calm down,
down.
sit the fuck down. Like, chill.
Hey,
Like,
calm down.
calm down. You'll be alright. Like,
Don't tell me to calm down. Yeah.
but so it was.
Looks like Goose Frog.
So it was Iris who ended up bringing him out of that.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about Iris and Barry, and let's see if we care about Iris and Barry. So obviously this is what's been setting up the whole time, and if you know your comic lore, they do get married in the comics, and that's his Lois Lane, so to speak.
Yeah.
So do we like what they're doing with them? I really, really liked how in the previous season he tells her that he loves her, kisses her, she's on board with it. He runs back in time, comes back to a world where that's never happened. So I liked how at the end of this, she's finally ready for him, but he's not. Emotionally, he's too distraught from losing his dad and losing everything. And I like how he had an emotional breaking point, where literally everything's been taken from him, and he finally says, fuck it, does something incredibly selfish, runs back in time and saves his mom. Spoilers, that's the end of the finale. Now, for those of you who know your comics, you know that's setting up Flashpoint, which is a fucking awesome comic. Now, what's probably going to happen is, he's going to come back to his time, and everything's going to be different, and him and Iris aren't going to be together again. So does that feel like that's getting rehashed, or how do you guys feel about that?
Well, it kind of perplexes me because is he even coming back as the Flash?
In the Flashpoint comic, he comes back to Earth, and he's not the
He's
Flash.
not the Flash.
None of that
Never heard
happens.
of the Flash.
And that's
Flash
what
isn't
I
even
think
a
they're
thing.
going to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It's got to be. That's the only common, because he never would have been in any of the situations that he was in if his mom hadn't been murdered. He wouldn't be.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been with Joe. He
Sure,
probably
wouldn't
wouldn't have
have been
known
with
Iris as well
Correct.
as he did. And so I'm really interested.
So
Can we just do season 3 now, please?
the way I think season 3 is going to play out is that's probably not going to be the whole season, but like the first 4 episodes probably are going to be him figuring out how to put shit back and realizing you have to
That
let your
he
mom
should
die.
not have done it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then I think what's going to happen is he's not going to go back to exactly the way things were. Some shit's still going to be different. And I bet you Iris not wanting him anymore is going to be one of those things. So I'm not saying it's doing it yet, but if the show gets to a point where they keep getting them walking right up to having a relationship, and then Barry does some flash shit, and now it's like, oh, I don't want you anymore. Like, that's going to get redundant really quick to me. In fact, it's already kind of feeling that way.
Well, let's go back to the main question. Do we care about Barry and Iris? For me, I care about that relationship more so than, say, the Daredevil, Matt and who was her name?
Oh, I almost called her Jessica from True Blood.
I was just thinking that, dude.
See, that's how much I don't care about that couple. Anyway, so this couple, I mean, I care about
Well,
them.
we
So at the
digress.
end of this, this episode, it kind of
Karen!
I don't care.
Okay.
But thank you anyway. So, but
Don't care.
but with this one, it kind of irritated me that, okay, now she's ready. Now this part didn't irritate that he's not. But what irritated me was like when she said, "Go ahead and fix yourself. Whatever you need to do, I'll be here. I'll wait for you, just like you waited for me." Now with this, like, okay, the whole superhero doesn't get the girl type of thing. He essentially has the girl. So why go and do something stupid?
Well, wouldn't you think
Chill
that
out,
that would
like-
be your comfort in this time of grief, that you have her too?
Well, yeah, so, yeah, you should there would be some comfort, but so why go off and do something drastic like going and saving your mother? That I mean, you know it's gonna fuck everything up.
I get it, though. I'm okay with
And
him
that
doing it.
irritated the shit out of me. Like I understand, and then I understand that they're setting up for Flashpoint, but still, I'm like,
I feel like
really?
it was more his breaking point. Like, you see the frustration in him as he's fucking running and shit.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
But
It was just-
I agree with you. I think that even if he lost his dad and his mom and, like, shit went bad and all that, he's finally got what he's wanted his whole life. And I
Right.
feel like he would turn to her for comfort.
Right.
Like, I feel like that would be the natural response. But I also don't have the power to time travel. Maybe that's where I would go to. So, John, what do you think? Do you want them together? Do you care? Or?
I do. I like them together. Well, you know, and like you said in the comics, they somewhat need to stick with the story a little bit, and they do end up being married. Is it all sunshines and rainbows all the way to that? Fucking obviously not.
No.
But I mean, I like the way they're doing it, and God, I didn't even think about the whole Flashpoint thing. No, I'm just really excited.
I know, right?
Season
Yeah.
3, please.
Yeah. So there's like I don't. It was like if Barry and Iris end up together, which they will, fine. If they don't, fine. I actually really liked Patty. I thought she was cool.
I like Patty.
I like that
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
That just kind of ended on nowhere. So, another thing that the show did was it introduced Wally West. For those of you who don't know, Wally West was the third Flash, and he doesn't have his powers yet in the show, although they've kind of hinted and alluded to him maybe getting powers. One thing that I think is really cool that the show is doing, I mean, it's titled The Flash, and obviously it's about Barry Allen. But they're showing the other Flashes. They're showing Garrick. They're showing Wally. So, like, The Flash to me doesn't mean these are just the adventures of Barry Allen. To
Right.
me, it has potential to spin off into other things. And let's talk about the fact that
Wally West was Kid Flash, right?
first, yes,
First,
and
okay.
then he became Flash. So let's talk about the fact that we are touching on Flashpoint, and we are talking about a time-traveling, universe-changing event, potentially. This could affect all the shows of the Berlantiverse. This could affect Arrow, Legends, and the newly acquired Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because they tease that a 4-show crossover could be happening. And what better way, what better like starting point for that would it be than this?
Uh-huh. Well, look at what they did with Legends, with when they went back to Starling City, dude.
Yeah.
And
And they had all
those-
their
oh my
uncut off
God,
blocks.
that was amazing.
I nerded the fuck out of that.
I did too.
We'll touch on that on our
Yeah,
Legends
review.
of Tomorrow review, which we
Yeah.
will do.
Soon.
Pretty soon. So okay, so let's what were our final thoughts then for this season and for this show? John?
Final thoughts is probably one of the best superhero series I've watched. I mean, I was enthralled through both seasons. I mean, yeah, we had disagreements. We've nitpicked certain parts of it.
That's any superhero thing ever, really.
Yes. But it was amazing. I mean, I loved the whole show. The only bitch I had was Barry, at times, seemed like a whiny little girl. And it seemed to me that through the whole thing, there were points when, and don't get me wrong, he is honorable, brave, courageous, but at times he's a whiny little bitch.
Could you elaborate? How is he a whiny little bitch, John?
Well, it seems that every time things get a little rough, instead of putting his big boy panties and dealing with it, someone has to go, "It's okay, Barry. You're a really good superhero, and you gotta go save the world."
Oh my god, I'm laughing because you're totally right. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not saying I agree with you, but what do you think, Lonnie? He does need a lot of pick-me-up from his team. I'm just saying.
Damn it!
He did.
These aren't the joys you're looking for.
I was going to argue that whole fact, but you made a fucking point.
That's
like, there's too much of that. Oh, it's okay. Just like you said, okay, Barry,
Yeah, a little bit.
you can do it. Like all these pep talks and yeah.
What's funny?
Yeah.
I've never noticed that until you just said something, and then I was like every third episode, he's like, "Oh, I don't really."
Damn
know."
you,
It's like,
John.
You're the fastest man alive, Barry. We believe in you. Run.
You can do
Your
it.
dick is so much bigger than Zoom.
He even needed the Speed Force to tell him. He needed this magical entity to be like, "No, it's okay."
And again, love the guy. I love the Flash, but
It's making me rethink everything.
I'm sorry.
God.
I just wish he wasn't so whiny at times. He does step up and save the world on numerous occasions, but he does it like a little girl.
Well, there goes my final thoughts. Hey, here's my final thought. Zoom is badder. How about that?
Okay, so my final thoughts. It's not going to be as good. My final thoughts are: it is a fantastic, fantastic superhero show. The acting's great. The writing, for the most part, is really, really good. The visuals are really good for a TV show's budget. It makes me feel like a little kid. Sometimes I literally sit there like a 10-year-old watching my Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
That's how this show makes me feel, and I think that's the best compliment I can truly give it. I want from season 3, all I really want is the Flashpoint. I don't give a fuck what the hell happens. I want the Flashpoint, and now I want Barry not to be a bitch anymore.
Yeah, me too.
That wasn't on my list before, but now it
Can
is.
you fix that? Please?
Yeah, so we're gonna thank John for that. The official "Let's make Barry not a bitch" movement, and we'll make T-shirts that say "Zoom is badder" also. So that's what you can get out of us.
Or a picture of Zoom pointing, going, "Don't be a bitch, Barry."
I know we missed a lot of things, but it was a 23 episode freaking season, which I'd argue is too many. But in the future, we'll try to do a review on series premieres, mid-season finales, and series finales, so that way we can cover more content. But as always, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook. Thank you. Have a good night. Jeremy!
Mom, where's the meatloaf?
Jamie! On the meatloaf.
Oh my god, it was funny. I never realized Barry was a bitch before.
Where's the meatloaf, Mom?
Never happened.